Welcome back, everybody, to episode 7 of the Pixel Platformer. I thought now is a good time to show you what program I've been using for my art. It's called pixelapp.com. Yes, there are other paid pixel art programs out there. Aseprite is highly recommended for pixel art based on what I've seen out there. But for a free one with 0 ads, this is by far the best I've been able to find. So all you'd have to do is pop in here, create sprite. And the first thing you want to do is make sure you have the right size of your pixels. So we want to resize this drawing. I'm doing 32 by 32 for mostly everything. So that's the size I'd be using. But over here is the main things you want to keep an eye on, is because this allows you to save locally on your hard drive. You can export in a variety of ways. So you can export as a GIF, a PNG. We use this for our sprite sheets, and the zip works so I can split into different layers for my background. And this is super easy to use. It also allows me to import anything that I was previously working on in case I close my browser and it hasn't saved it. So once I have my size, and you can start to play around with all your different colors here and your options. I'm not going to do a tutorial on how to use pixel art, but for now, I'm going to just show you a few examples of what I've created. So first is my player so far. This is his idle animation. So I first drew it right here, and I have two different I did have two different layers. It didn't save them, but I had different layer for my legs. So it allowed me to move them around for my animations. But this shows my different frames. Over here, I have a preview showing me my frame rate, which is awesome. So this worked really well. And then when I was ready to export, I exported this as a sprite sheet. And that's how we were able to get that idle animation. Another example is what we're going to use today, which is tile maps. So these are five really basic tiles, and we're going to be prototyping our level with them in this tutorial. Now, this is currently not like the other one, it's in tile mode. So we have these different modes. So in tile mode, it allows me to see how this tile matches up with itself to the left and to the right. And that's super helpful when you're doing something more detailed like backgrounds or grass or just more detailed pixel art. You want to see how your tiles line up against itself and against others. And finally, I also did my backgrounds here. So this is a much bigger layout. The size of this is 900 by 700 pixels, which is what I would recommend based on our screen size currently. But here what I did was I created multiple layers, and so you can see here there's my back layer with my stars, and then my further away mountains, and then my closer mountains there. And again, I was able to export this as in different layers, which will parallax in my next episode. Once you've created some things like a tile map, it's really cool to see quickly how does it look when you start to paint with it. So there I found it also a great online ad-free spritefusion.com here. You go to its editor, and it gives you a default tile map here that you're welcome to use. But if you want to bring yours in, you would then just go new and discard this one. And under here, I'm just going to change the size to 32, save that. You can put more information, of course, there if you need to. Whoops, we'll save that. And now I can import a tile set, which I've already downloaded my gray box one. And here it is. Nothing fancy, but I can choose things and I can start to paint. So I could paint kind of my bottom platform here, and then maybe put a few platforms up here just to see what things look like. And you zoom in and zoom out and work with it like that. So it allows you to quickly draw a level and see what you think about it. So let's do this in Unity. So back in Unity here where we left off, we just finished with Cinemachine to bring our scene to life. Our level's looking a lot better based on how it moves on with our player, but anything outside of the player is super boring. So I'm going to take our current ground and 3 platforms and turn those all off. We'll delete them later. And now what I want to do is bring in that tile map. So I'm just going to right click here, and we're going to import a new asset like we've done before. And I've stored this back here in art, I believe. Oh, no, it's in my downloads. So let's pop into there. And there's my gray box there. Like always, we're going to need to edit this when we bring in new art. So this is definitely going to be multiple because it is a tile map. And we're going to change our pixels again back to 32 for all of our pixels to match with our character. Change filter mode to point and make sure this is the compression is set to none. And now we can go into, well, first let's apply that. And then let's go to the sprite editor. And we're going to slice this up just like we did the animation. Now, of course, we're not going to animate this. We're going to paint with it. So we're going to go in grid. This will be automatically at automatic. So now we want to go grid by size, which you're going to set that to 32 by 32. Slice that up. And then we're going to go here and apply it. And now we've sliced that up and we can see here's our different pieces down below, our 5 different pieces. There's 6 because oh no, it's just taking the 5 because the last one was empty. Okay, so how do I paint with this? Now, you can't just, if I bring these in and that would take a ridiculous long time. And sure, you could do it like that and that would work. But Unity has a great thing called a tile palette and a tile map. So what we're going to first do is right click in our hierarchy and we're going to create a new 2D object under tile map, and we want rectangular. Okay, there are other shapes, but for this tutorial we're going to do rectangular and we're going to call it level. Okay, and now on our level, I don't have anything to paint with still. Again, if I grab any of these, it's not going to work. The tile map has to work with a tile palette. So we need that window. So we're going to go up here, click on window, down to 2D and click tile palette. This is our new window. I'm going to drag this where the game is. This is where I like to have my palette when I'm painting my levels. And we're going to create a new palette. So when we click that, careful clicking that, we're going to do a new level here. I'm just going to call this gray box because that's the tile map that I'm going to put into this palette. So I'm going to create that. And in our artwork folder, we're going to create a new folder called tile palettes. Select that just to stay organized here. And then let's click and drag this right in. Okay, and again, I'm going to put it in my tile palettes folder. There we go. I'm ready to paint. How does this work? So basically under this tile palette, we have a few basic painting tools. So I have my selection. I can move a selection. That'll allow me to move stuff after I've painted it. This is the one we're going to use the most. That's my brush. So I can pick items and start to brush. So for example, first thing first, let's get some ground here. So I'm just going to paint that all the way across there, across my whole scene, and go a little bit past my camera. Over here, well, let's see how this works. So let's say I want to fill a whole bunch of boxes down here or paint a large area. I can choose this. This tool is called the filled box and allows me then I can just paint a huge bottom platform here, make it really thick so that my camera sees as if it continues to go forever down below. It also allows me, maybe I just want to paint like a wall on one side, so that'll work really good. The other tools, well, eraser we're going to use a lot. I don't use this. I mean, that's a bit ridiculous. It doesn't apply. It works good for backgrounds and things like that, but it's kind of like a smart fill. I don't use it very much, but feel free to give it a try. And eraser, of course, if I wanted to get rid of a couple platforms, I could. So again, undo's your favorite, your best friend if you want to fix that. So let's go in and paint a few more things to this level. Again, you would normally spend a lot more time on this, but for our purposes, I'm just going to add a few more platforms. And this is going to add to our parallax effect later. Now again, this is called gray boxing. So I just take a really simple tile map and I start to paint, and that's it. I'm not doing anything fancy here. I'm really focusing on functionality. So when I start to play test this, if a jump's impossible, then of course I need to fix this level. So I'm going to try to do that on purpose here. I'm going to try to make a jump here that's a little bit outside. So maybe if I put it here, and we might not be able to make this jump. So we're going to test this. I believe I'm going to be able to make all these jumps. Let's erase this other piece right there. And let's go in and try to play. And we're going to notice something right away. We're going to run into a problem. So let's give this a shot. Go back to game mode and give it a play. And we fall to oblivion. Now, why is that? Well, because I got rid of the other platforms, there's no box colliders. Well, TileMap has a great easy way to fix this. If I want to be able to collide with everything that I just painted, we can go and select that level, add component, and add a TileMap collider 2D. As soon as I do that, I don't have to add anything else to it, and now I'm going to be able to interact with this level. Now, mind you, if you're using a more detailed tile map and some things you don't want to be able to collide with, you'll have to make multiple palettes with some of those other tiles so that you can paint and not collide with them. So just a heads up. But for now with Greybox, we do want to collide. So now if I press play, I should be able to collide with these boxes. And here we go. And check it out. I can't jump. That's a problem. I don't know if you can hear that, but my space bar is not working. And we can troubleshoot this no problem. On my level again, we have a ground check, and the ground check was checking the layer. This layer has to be ground. And if I go back to play, it will now allow me to jump. So let's go and test that spot, and now my Cinemachine is working, and I got this jump. See, that's why this game can get frustrating. One false step and we fall and fall. Let's see if I can make this jump. Okay, I can't. I don't have a double jump. I don't have a dash. I can't make that jump no matter how hard I try. I'm not doing it. So this is obviously functionality. I've made that just a hair too hard. That's okay. So first I'm going to get out of play mode, and remember I edited that, so I'm going to put that to ground again, and we're going to go up here, we're going to go back to my tile map. I'm going to select this, okay, click and hold, and now I can move it to where I knew I was just a hair outside, so I think I'll be able to make that jump. It'll be tough, but I should be able to make it. Okay, and so that's one way that we can use our tile map and start to functionality build a level. So we're going to gray box this out. Take your time. You're going to go a lot higher than me, going up and up and up and up, and a little bit left and right on horizontal, but we're focusing on a vertical level. Okay, only thing I want to add is that if you want to edit your actual palette, you just have to go into edit mode and you're able to do so. So what that allows me to do is, for example, I can have something selected like so, and I can go to edit, and then I can move it. I can actually move this around and place it where I want. If I don't like the layout of my tile map, I can also paint with that. So right now that's the last thing that I had selected. So it's going to let me paint. So if I want to create something bigger on my tile map, I can do that. Now, if I want to paint with something else, I can go here and start to select. Maybe I want to paint with this larger platform here, and then I can go to edit and paint. And oh, that didn't work. Let's choose this and then paint with that. It's still using my old one that I had before. Let's pop out of edit and grab this. Okay, that's what I need to do. So if I want to paint more with this piece, then I'll have that selected currently with my paint tool out here, and then I can go to edit and I can paint more of it inside of here. So I just wanted to show that. I think that covers everything for tile mapping for now. I did get an error here that looks like it's okay. But that's all I wanted to cover. That's how we have a tile map. We didn't mess around with anything to do with layers, sorting layer. Everything's a default. Ordering layer is 0. These are things we'll have to pay attention more to when we start bringing in our art and our backgrounds. Okay, so that concludes this video. We'll see you in the next one.